Hello, my name is Camila Radjabova, and I'm a senior in the Department of Anthropology. This summer, I did a research project regarding consistent condom usage among intimate partners of HIV positive men who inject drugs. So, this research started with an initial concern that, according to recent data, there's been about 15,000 women aged 15 and over living with HIV in Malaysia. Among people who inject drugs, only 25% of them use condoms. So, the main route of transmission for HIV disease is usually through unprotected sexual intercourse. The objective of this study was to concentrate on the female interview transcripts used from another larger study and analyze the female decision-making process of consistent condom usage during sexual intercourse. Um, then these 9 female transcripts were used and fit into the theory of planned behavior, which I will talk about a little later. I then analyzed whether the fit was accurate and then proposed another model, suggesting that it is a better model for the decision-making process of female partners of men who inject drugs. Additionally, during my research, I interviewed 2 people. One was a female intimate partner of a male who injected drugs, who was HIV positive, and another was a transgender woman who was in an intimate partnership with an HIV positive man who injected drugs. So the results of this study concluded that the main variables that contributed to the decision-making process was social support, societal stigma, economic dependency, education, and finally acceptance/helplessness. As you can see on the right, there's an example of a quote that a woman gave about her experience in the decision-making process, and she kind of leaves her decision-making to uh, basically an atmosphere of acceptance, one that is religious because she refers to God to help her accept this disease sincerely. Um, Below this, you can see the theory of planned behavior, which talks about the types of motivations and intentions that influence someone's decision-making process. The key component of this model is behavioral intent, which helps make our decisions in the long run. However, the theory of planned behavior was not well fitted to our qualitative data because it does not take into account things like fear, threat, mood, economic factors, or past experiences. Additionally, the theory of planned behavior does not account for the changes in decision making over time. So the new model that I proposed, which you can see in the third picture, um, is one where you can reverse your current decision back to the motivations that influenced your initial decision and make a new decision that changes over time. That was one of the main aspects that I added in this new model. Another aspect that we accounted for was societal stigma, which accounted for things like mood, acceptance/helplessness, and past experience with HIV diseases. Um, so the goal of creating these behavioral models is to help us better understand when healthcare professionals can intervene um, in HIV prevention. Um, and the question that comes from that is, how can policymakers and healthcare professionals use this behavioral model in HIV interventions to help prevent HIV among intimate partners of men who inject drugs? So the long-term goal is to lower the amount of women getting infected by HIV within this vulnerable population. Further research can be done in this specific study because we only analyzed about 10 specific cases during our research this summer, and that's because this population is highly inaccessible. The man has to first disclose his status to the woman, has to agree that his female intimate partner be interviewed, and the female intimate partner also has to be agreeable to the interview as well. For that reason, we did not have many interviews transcripts to analyze in the first place. Finally, I would like to finish this presentation off by thanking the research team at the University of Malaya, specifically Professor Sajar Othman, Dr. Ramana Saifi, and the other people who helped me get the interviews and the data for this study. And I want to thank the Center for Health and Wellbeing for funding and supporting the research that I did, and the GHP certificate program for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.